there are plenty of threats dispersed throughout the internet that I have little to no knowledge about. However, there is one dangerous website which featured imagery that I can't get out of my head even after all this time. You see, a few years ago, I discovered a Reddit post by a now deleted user. It stated the following.
Warning, if you come across an ad for a website called teachmeorange.com, do not click on it. The site contains a virus that overwrites all of your files with disturbing images. I've done some research on this website, and it apparently belongs to a cybercriminal going under the alias of Chengzi, who has also created a bunch of other fake sites. If you find this ad, immediately report to Google.
The website itself is now defunct, but I still don't recommend visiting the URL. Anyhow, I decided to boot up a virtual machine and investigate the contents of the site to find out if it's actually malicious. The website was very similar to YouTube in terms of appearance, and just as I anticipated, it was filled to the brim with advertisements, pop-ups, and anything that could cause harm to my operating system. Furthermore, there were a plethora of Annoying Orange-related videos, dubbed in multiple different languages. Obviously, none of them were officially endorsed by Dame Bo, and almost all of them were poorly made. Nonetheless, there was only one video that caught my attention. A Chinese dub of the original, The Annoying Orange. The thumbnail looked unusual. It depicted Orange and Apple, except Apple was facing away from Orange, as the latter lacked a facial expression, besides wide-open eyes with shrunken pupils. Intrigued, I clicked on the video to watch it. The video began with the intro to the Annoying Orange TV show. A narrator spoke as subtitles appeared on the bottom of the screen.
Why not teach me Chinese? Why not? Just sit tight. The orange will teach you Chinese.
I never understood what the narrator meant by the orange, but the footage eventually cut to black. The screen remained unchanged for at least 7 seconds, until the actual dub commenced. An upbeat piano tune played, while Chinese text spun around on the screen, which read, Annoying Orange, when translated into English. The text warped into a sphere before it cut to the first scene of the dub. The video was almost exactly the same as a YouTube upload, except that a female voice actor read out the character's lines in Chinese. Everything seemed mostly normal, until I realized that there was something very off with the video. The dub on its own has horrible video quality, while the introduction does not. As for Orange, his eyes were tinted scarlet, which was a trait that was first seen in the first video of the official Annoying Orange YouTube channel, not the actual The Annoying Orange video itself. Sometimes certain words were highlighted, and there were definitions explaining what those words meant in English. Additionally, at the halfway point of the video, a grainy photo of a man crying was overlaid on screen for a few seconds. This deeply concerned me. More Chinese text appeared, translating to,
You don't have the right to weep.
Suddenly, the video froze at the 108 mark. When it played again, Apple started speaking English, but he didn't have the voice of Dame Bo, nor was he properly following the script. In fact, it sounded like the voice actor was on the verge of seething and breaking down mentally. Whenever Apple said orange, it seemed to be edited in. A cheap text-to-speech voice overlaying whatever name he was truly saying.
You know, Orange, I said what I said, and now he's gone. But I don't care, because I never gave a shit about his life. I don't give a shit about yours. Either. I hated him with a great passion. Orange, and I especially hate you.
Orange responded, his cheery tone not changing for whatever reason. While he was speaking English, he still had an accent, presumably voiced by the same person who voiced Orange in the Chinese part.
Maybe if you got out of your house and tried to give yourself purpose once in a while, you wouldn't have to drag people down to your level. Yeah, Well, maybe if you stop surrounding yourself with fucking troglodyte sentient cancer cells like him, I wouldn't be saying any of this in the first place, you inbred fucktwit.
Everything went silent for 12 seconds, save for Apple's heavy breathing. That was until Orange spoke.
Hey, Apple. What?
Suddenly, in a very hateful, non-Orange voice, Orange said,
People like you don't matter. What you said to them ended his life. Yours won't get the privilege of ending.
Orange's face, in his side of the kitchen, was bathed in shadow, his pupils now shrunken. He was shaking, very slightly, but still noticeable. A neck grew from the back of his body. Slowly, with disgusting, slimy bubbling of flesh being heard, he began emitting a shrill noise, almost like a combination of agonized screaming and manic laughter. Another image appeared on the screen. They were text messages, seemingly cyberbullying a person and making derogatory remarks towards him. Besides the image, Chinese text was present.
How would you want it? Why are you horrified?
By the time we cut to Apple, his mouth was hung agape, and he was staring in horror.
What are you? Oh, God.
Cut to black. The screen comes back, with the entire kitchen devoid of light. Apple was trembling in fear, stricken by the appalling nature of his plight. We slam cut to an outward zoom, revealing exactly what's happening. A tall, humanoid, lanky version of Orange stood in the other direction away from Apple. Its eyes were extremely sunken in too. They were too small and far back for its own sockets. A blood-stained knife was stuck in its back, and its shoulders had sharp spikes shooting outward. Its body resembled that of a peeled orange. The darkened kitchen filled with red smoke, further illuminating the entity. It spoke in a deep, gravelly voice.
The wicked need to be taught how wicked they are. They must never sleep.
Its deformed, shaking hand moved to the knife stuck in its back and pulled it out without flinching. It stepped towards Apple, who was too paralyzed with fear to even try to run away. The orange abomination stabbed Apple in the eye with its knife, causing the latter to wail with pain. The creature hunched over, its spine showing, as it took the knife and steadily twisted it before I yanked the weapon from Apple's eye and crammed it inside of its mouth. The entity grabbed onto him and began squeezing its fingers into his mouth. It tore out various teeth from his gums, tugging at them until they shot out. Then it dug into Apple's dome off-screen. The sounds of peeling and squelching were heard as he screamed in visceral agony. Those screams slowly descended into gurgling. A high-pitched tone faded in quickly, before the video distorted and the screen blacked out again. When it cut back, the video played from the beginning, differently this time.
Hey, Apple. What the fuck? Get away from me, you fucking demon! Hey, Eric! What? No, please, God, I'm sorry. Knife!
Apple was stabbed from the back of his head, the knife poking out of his mouth. He choked and gurgled before he stopped responding. The screen cut to black one last time, ending the video. The website froze and force closed the web browser. I looked at my desktop and realized that the wallpaper had been changed to a real photograph of a man with duct tape over his mouth. He was bound by rope in the corner of a filthy, dilapidated basement. What I saw next almost made me hurl. Every single file on the virtual machine was overwritten with an image of the man's rotting carcass. Wires and electrical equipment were attached to his fully skinned body, and a knife was seen puncturing through the back of his head and out his mouth. A multitude of things in that moment became clearer and clearer. The man faced the same fate as Apple, and at the end of the video, Orange referred to Apple as Eric. That must be the man's name. Nevertheless, there was one line that stuck out to me. I don't know what it means, especially since the man's corpse was very blatantly shown, but I'm referring to, yours won't get the privilege of ending. A few questions arose that I had no plausible answer to. Those being, how did they get the lines for Apple, and why were there wires stuck inside the body? That's when it dawned on me. Changzi was no cybercriminal.